All right, we got to talk about animals. My name is Dakota Lee. I am a professional animal communicator. I also have the gift to see in the spirit, and God's been letting me visit heaven since I was 12 years old. I have shared a video about how I started talking to animals, but I wanted to describe how does it work? The cool thing of talking to animals is that I'm not sure it was exactly easy for me to pick up, but it was probably easier than it would have been for other people because I had been doing so much communicating with angels, with God, with Jesus, visiting heaven. And so I was kind of comfortable in a more spiritual language. But the interesting thing about animal communication, when I started really trying to communicate on purpose and then to hear back, which was a whole other level of things. I could speak to them, but then I couldn't hear anything back. I had to learn how to do that. It was different because when I communicate with Jesus, he wants to communicate with me probably even more somehow than I want to communicate with him. And I want to communicate with him a lot. So Jesus himself puts in a lot of effort to the communication. But animals, it's more equal. How did that work? When I started talking to animals, I didn't have a teacher. It was trial and error. I heard it might be possible. I started trying it. I saw animals start to respond, but I couldn't hear back from them yet. And so I just basically tried to talk to every animal that I could until I started getting it right consistently. I got a lot of things wrong as a teenager before I started to get it right. And one of the biggest things that I realized as I was speaking to I'll give an example. There was a time where I had a friend who was into horses, and she had a mare that she really was hoping was pregnant. And so she asked me, hey, does my mare think she's pregnant? So I tried to ask the mare, and I heard back the answer, yes. Well, the mare was not pregnant. And that was really hard for me because it was a very clear sign, like, you did not just hear from that horse. That was wrong. Now I have more wisdom, and I know that most animals know when they're pregnant, but some may not know, and there might be reasons for that. They may have blocked it out if they had gotten pregnant in a traumatic way, or they're just really naive, possibly. But most animals know when they are pregnant. But anyways, at the time I knew, I was like, okay, I was absolutely wrong. What the heck happened? My whole future of wanting to do this flashed before my eyes. Maybe I can't do this. And so I went back to it, and I just spent some time really quietly with some other horses in a different field. I just went deeper. And what I realized that I had to do on purpose, this is over the course of a week, is that I had walls around my heart that I didn't realize I had. I think most people have them. And I had to drop them on purpose. And at first, when I started dropping them, somehow it felt like I just stuck my heart out over a cliff and was about to drop it. It was so scary in a strange way and vulnerable, but that's when the animals started responding. That's when I could hear. And when I dropped those walls, the communication started to come in easier. And it was so difficult at first. I could only do it for like a max of 15 minutes. And then I was so tired and the walls had to go back up. But as I kept communicating and trying, because I was obsessed. I could not stop. I mean, who doesn't want to talk to animals, right? So I kept trying it. I got better and better, and my stamina grew. By the time I graduated college, I could hold conversations for an hour and not feel so tired. And so that's when I started my business, Dakota Lee Animal Talk. But another cool thing that I learned about my gift is I can do it at any distance. So my sessions right now are remote. It's through a phone call. The client books the session. It goes on both of our calendars, and they send me a photo and the name of their animal, and that's what I can use to connect. Scientists have started studying more like quantum mechanics, and it's kind of baby research at this point, but there is research supporting things like animal communication and see how that's possible. So that's really cool that there is some actual science behind it at this point. So I can connect at any distance to any animal. And the good news for me is that I can turn off my gift and turn it on when I want. So it's not a free flow. I don't get overwhelmed for the most part. So that is kind of a crash course on how talking to animals works for me. And so if you're interested in a session for your animal, head to my website. We talk about all sorts of really cool things. I'll share some other stories for some of my sessions and other videos. Thanks for watching.